Okay folks, what we're doing here today is we're making some apple pies and some pumpkin pies, and my wife is going to be doing most of the work. I'm just going to be the hey boy to go get stuff and help her out a little bit. And we're going to give one of these pumpkin and one of the apple to Tom Riley, who does all my editing for me, and we'll have the other ones here for anybody that comes out to eat with us on Thanksgiving. Okay, here we go. Tell them what you're doing.
I'm measuring 5 1/4 cups of flour. And this is just the crust for the apple pies.
Okay. You want me to get the other bag of flour?
Appears to be that we're going to need it.
Yeah.
One,
Anything else you need one out here, baby?
not right now.
Okay.
2, 3, 1. Now I'm going to add the salt. And I need 2 1/4. If anybody's ever seen this is a Pampered Chef, and it's really the neatest thing because it has grades here. It's an 1/8, a quarter, a half, or 3/4, and then 1 teaspoon. So you can use one device to get everything. There's 2 teaspoons, and then I need a quarter, which is right there.
It's a lot easier to do it with the right tools, folks.
And then I need 1/3 of a teaspoon, which I don't have, so what I'm going to do is approximate it, because there's a quarter and there's a half, so I'm going to take and put it in the middle.
Close enough.
And the reason I did that is on this recipe, I tripled it for the pies. This is for a 2 crust pie, and then I tripled it because I'm making 3 of them. And then to make it easier on myself, I added another single pie recipe so that I have room to work with, so that I'm not cutting myself down to make it so that I have to pull things to fit the pie pan. I have an extra amount of dough to work with.
And then I have extra dough that I can put cinnamon and sugar on and bake it, and I can eat that as a snack.
Okay, now I'm going to use this little whisk, and I'm going to mix the salt into the flour
Okay.
so that it gets distributed.
Okay. Anything you want me to do?
Yes, you can open the shortening.
Okay.
A lot of people like to use butter in their pie crust. If you like a buttery pie crust, go right ahead. Or some people use butter flavored Crisco. Tom likes just the Crisco one, so that's what we use. And I need 1 3/4 of a cup. This is a half of a cup.
Okay.
Make sure it's solid, all packed all the way in there.
That's what I'm doing. Taking the extra and packing it down. That good?
Yep.
Put that in here?
Yep. 1.
Okay, there's that. Now how much more do you need?
I need 1 3/4.
1 3/4.
So that was a half a cup. So
Yeah,
I need,
another one of these
right?
so that we get the full cup. And with the full cup, then we got to do a little bit of math and divide it up a little bit. how much smaller we want, or we use a different.
Well, I'll use a different cup, but we'd have to do 3 of these so I can get a cup and a half on.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we'll do 3 of these then, and get a cup and a half of Crisco, which I like better than the buttered stuff. Okay.
Take that extra stuff off the back of the cup so that you're not makeup. Thank you.
Okay. The only reason I know how to do this part of it is because I've seen her do it before several times in the last 50 years. Okay, now, one more of these.
Mm-hmm. That would be 1.5 cups.
Mm-hmm.
And I just use that because it's easier to push in the Crisco. Well, it cuts through it.
Cuts through it real easy.
Yeah.
That makes it easier for me too, because I'm just helping today.
You're a good helper.
Yeah, I told her I was usually out skinning or putting fur up this time of year when she's making these things, but I'm gonna help today so that we can get this all done so that everybody has pies for Thanksgiving. Is that pretty good?
Yep, it's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so that's 1.5 cups.
Mm-hmm.
And I need 1 3/4. So this is a 1/4 cup.
This is a 1/4 cup. So she has all these fancy tools here so that I can do it in my head while she's already got it figured out over there.
Now, I do it this way. The correct way to do shortening is actually to float it in water. But I don't do that. I just use that. Well, that's the correct way to do it, though.
Yeah, but we're going to do it the old-fashioned way.
Okay. Now I need the pastry blender. Where did that? Oh, it's right here. Okay. This is a pastry blender.
Okay, and what's that do?
You take the shortening and you take the flour on top of it, and then you cut the shortening into the flour.
That's the term that cooks use, is cutting the pastry, cutting the lard into the flour, the butter, whatever you're using.
And it's actually, it would be a baker, because a cook makes food, and a baker makes pastries.
Oh, okay. Well, you're a good baker and a good food maker, so there.
I'm a good cook and a good baker.
Yes, you're a great cook and a great baker.
Yeah, because I do simple stuff. This and the water are the most important part. You got to cut the shortening down so that I don't know if you can see these. See how it has little pieces of the shortening? You got to make them so that they're smaller, so that when you roll it out, it will make it more flaky. And you can work the dough like this, which doesn't have any water into it, a long time. However much you want to work it, you can do that. Once you put the water into it, you have to just incorporate the water and get it figured out, because if you work it too much once the water is into it, it will make it a really, really tough crust, and that's a bad crust. So you don't want to do that. Well, it looks like it's getting there.
Okay.
Okay. That's what it should look like.
Now she's cut all of that lard into that flour now. You can see how fine it's mixed in there.
Okay. A lot of people do this part here where you mix it in with dough hooks in a mixer or in a food processor on a pulse thing where it cuts it up. And it's however you prefer doing it. I've been doing it for years, so I like doing it with the pastry.
Doing it by hand.
Well, yeah, because I know it feels.
Yeah, you know what it's supposed to feel like.
Yeah. Instead of look like, I know what it feels like.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you make a bowl in the.
I'm showing real close here. Okay, she's just making an indentation in the center here for a place for the water to get in.
Okay. And I need 14 tablespoons of cold water. It has to be cold. And I have a cup, which is 16 tablespoons. So I'm going to take 2 tablespoons out of it. As soon as I find where the tablespoons are listed. Ah, there they are. So 2 tablespoons on this. It's right there.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see that. That's 2 tablespoons.
Well, there you go. Take your best shot at seeing it. It's probably better than looking at those coons that I show you.
Okay, now you put the cold water into the indentation.
The bowl she made in the center of it there, that'll hold the water up a little bit while she's working it.
Okay, now my hands have been washed and they're clean.
Mm-hmm.
Some people use a fork, some people use a spoon.
Okay.
I use my hands.
Mm-hmm.
You fold the flour into the water. Into the water. You just keep going from the outside of the bowl into the water.
Into the center then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
As you mix it. And like I'm saying, you don't, once this gets mixed, you really need to stop mixing it because it'll get tough. And you don't want tough pie crust.
Nope. We like them nice flaky pie crust with them apples on them. Or in them, or however you want to put it.
What I'm doing here is, I don't know if you can see it, it's all coming together. What you want to do is get one solid ball, and then you can divide it up how you need it. And if it gets to feeling too dry, then you can add some more of that water. But you got to do it within a certain amount of time. Or again, you get a tough pie crust.
You don't want a tough pie crust.
Okay, I think I need just a hair more water.
Okay. She's got 2 tablespoons worth there, and she'll use what she needs within the mixture. You can see that water is being incorporated into the flour and the shortening that's in there. And that's how she's getting it to feel the way that she wants it to feel so that it comes out with a good pie crust.
See how I'm having trouble incorporating this little bit like that around it? That means more water. There it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see it?
I can see it.
Okay.
And they can see it because I got the camera aimed right at it.
Okay. It's not aimed at me. A lot of people just make one pie crust at a time because it's easier to work with. But I'm too impatient to do that. So,
She's making,
3 of them.
well, actually 3.5, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. Okay, so we got the pie crust ball. And I'm going to roll it into a ball. And I'm going to make sure I have all 3 pie crust balls.
You see that she's putting the pie crust balls out in front of the bowl she's on, so if she needs a little extra from one or the other, she'll take it. About the size of a softball, actually, so if you're a softball player, you might use that as a reference point.
Sure, we're going to have to use it again to make the other 2 pie crusts. Okay. So now this is 1 pie, so it's the top and bottom of the pie, so I'm going to cut it in half. And then I gotta push this together so I can start rolling it out.
Powder on there?
I need flour on there.
Okay, take this thing here and measure out a little bit.
This,
How much do you want on there, David? About that much?
That's good. This pastry mat is really kind of neat. It has like 8-inch pies, 9-inch pie, 10-inch pie, and I'm making 9 inches. Okay, so first thing I do is flatten it out like this. I use my fingers and my hands before I start with the rolling pin. A lot of people are more talented and can start from here and go to the rolling pin, but when I do it, it breaks it up. So I've learned my...
She's got a way of doing it where it comes out right, folks.
For me. Okay, that's good. Okay. When you're rolling dough out, you're supposed to go in the same direction all the time. You're not supposed to go back and forth. You're supposed to like start here and go like that. And it's much better if you have a rolling pin that doesn't have handles on it. Took me a lot of years to figure that out.
You have one of them?
No, I
one.
just I just use it like this.
Okay.
Those long skinny ones.
The marble ones and all that stuff?
Well, the marble ones are just to keep it cold because pie crust, it's easier to work with if you've kept it cold. A lot of people, when they get to this point, they chill it. But I just keep working with it. And I'm moving the dough from the middle to the outside. See how it's higher in the middle? I'm moving the dough out there.
That's a good way to keep it in mind, folks, so that you can get the crust going whichever direction you need it to go.
Okay, now I'm gonna, did you get a little bit more flour? Okay, that's good. I'm gonna flip it over now so it doesn't stick. And continue rolling it out.
And you're making it for how big of a pie plate? A 9-inch?
9-inch, yeah.
Okay.
So it's got a ways to go. Gotta be a little gingerly at this part. See how it has like it wants to split? You have to make sure you keep it together or it'll all split apart on you once it gets to a certain point.
Yeah, that's why she's doing it, folks, and not me.
Well, I've just got a lot of years doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting close to the line for the 9-inch. And I know you can see that it, you know, those people on TV have it all nice and round and it looks great. I never can do that. I don't know what their magic formula is, but I don't possess it, so. This is just the run of your mill family baker. Okay, I made it to 9 inches on all that. Then I'm gonna fold it like that and fold it like that. Get a pie pan and open it up. Get it up and over the edges, because then the top will go on that part.
She's going to roll out the tops, and then we'll get the apples and we'll start doing them. This be Tom out.